1,000 transactions per second are possible on Solana. Now, if you compare that to Ethereum now, Ethereum does around 15 transactions per second, Bitcoin's around 7. And look, there's lots of other blockchains out there that are doing some pretty great transactions per second, but at 50,000 transactions per second, Solana is definitely a top tier blockchain in terms of huge amounts of potential throughput for the blockchain. Now, what about the Solana token? So there's two primary use cases for the Sol coin. So Solana is used for paying gas fees on the network, and gas fees are dirt cheap on Solana. You can do even very complex things on Solana for a penny, a couple pennies at max, right? Sending Solana or sending stable coins or tokens around costs just basically nothing. It's super cheap to use the Solana network. So that's one way you're using the token, is to pay for gas on the network. It's very cheap gas. The second thing Solana is used for is for earning a passive income. You can stake your Solana using a popular wallet like the Phantom wallet, for example, and you can earn around 5 to 6% APY by staking your Solana tokens. Now, you might be able to find better rates in DeFi than just staking, but staking's simple and safe and easy to do on the Solana network to get a pretty decent rate of return at 5 or 6%, paid out in an asset that may appreciate much more than that in value in the future. Now, what about the Solana ecosystem? What are some key things that we need to know? Some statistics that I want to point out here for you. Well, Solana has been a very popular blockchain with the big money funds. Venture capital has massively backed the Solana network. And just a couple of highlights here for you. 5 new funds bring $100 million to boost growth of the Solana ecosystem. That was last year. Maple Finance deploys $45 million to support the Solana ecosystem. We have Solana announces $150 million blockchain gaming fund. That was at the end of last year. And look, there's another 10 funds that have been announced for the Solana blockchain. We're not going to go into all of them, but literally hundreds of millions of dollars of venture capital money has come in to back the Solana blockchain. Plus, of course, they have the support of FTX, one of the biggest, most prominent exchanges in the cryptocurrency space, which is owned by Sam Bankman-Fried, one of crypto's top net worth billionaires. So there's a big amount of money behind the Solana blockchain betting on its future success. We also see the total value locked in the Solana blockchain is at $6.5 billion currently. So we can see it has come down dramatically since its days when it was up around $15 billion. So about a 60% decrease down to our current levels. Now that has played out across most blockchains, where a lot of blockchains have seen 40, 50, 60% downturns in their total value locked on chain. But $6.5 billion is still a heck of a lot of money sitting in Solana-based decentralized finance applications. And of course, it's in all of our favorite applications here: Marinade, Solend, Radium, Serum, Orca, etc., etc. Lots of well-known names here in the Solana ecosystem. Solana currently is the 5th biggest blockchain by total value locked, so behind Avalanche, BSC, Terra, and Ethereum, ahead of others like Phantom Tron, Polygon, Chronos, and Arbitrum. So it's doing pretty good. It has a lot of competition out there. We've seen, it moving up and down in the charts, but Solana has been in the top 10 for a very long time, and it's usually in the top 5 by total value locked. This is a very interesting statistic as well. 7-day active addresses by chain. Now, this is from Nansen, and it's not a completely exhaustive list. There are some very big and obvious blockchains that are not being tracked on this list, but regardless, 3.72 million active addresses for Solana. That is a massive, massive amount. Now that puts it ahead of the Binance Smart Chain. That puts it ahead of Ethereum by more than 2 times, well ahead of Polygon as well. So, I mean, Solana is getting incredible use right now. A lot of people are paying a lot of attention to the Solana blockchain currently, and the users are showing up. And that is a damn important metric to be keeping an eye on, because if the users are not showing up, it's problematic. But in the case of Solana, holy cow, man, the users are showing up big time. The NFT scene also has really taken off on Solana. And look, there's a few different metrics going around, but it appears that the sales of NFTs on Solana, $23 million on the day that I recorded this video. Now, this is a particularly big spike right now because there's something called, I think, OK bears, which are just people going crazy for and buying up huge amounts of. Usually Solana is around $8 to $10 million a day of NFT sales, which puts it at about 1/10 of the average daily sales on Ethereum. Obviously today at about a quarter of Ethereum total sales. So pretty awesome to see, regardless, that there's just so much interest in Solana-based NFTs. And Solana really has been the second big chain for NFTs. And even though we see NFTs on lots of other chains, whether it be Avalanche or Polygon or Cardano, which is not on the list here, or Terra, which is also not on this list, but man, Solana has definitely nailed the number 2 spot, well ahead of any of the other blockchains. So Solana well ahead of the next competitor, according to this, dramatically ahead. And even if we put Cardano in here, still very, very much ahead of Cardano as well. So the interest in Solana-based NFTs has been big. And there's been of course, a lot of great collections launching on Solana, whether it be, the Solana geckos that launched or the dragons that launched, both very popular, very high value collections, or if we look at all of the gaming NFTs that are coming out on Solana that are capturing a lot of public interest as well. Solana NFTs also have now started trading over on OpenSea. So this will move into our next section, talking about some of the integrations that Solana has seen. And look, Solana is kind of everywhere now. So seeing OpenSea, the biggest NFT marketplace in the world, integrating with Solana NFTs is definitely a great thing. Now, that being said, Magic Eden, the sort of native Solana NFT marketplace, has maintained very strong volume levels compared to the Solana trading happening over on OpenSea. So a lot of users are staying with Magic Eden instead of coming over to OpenSea, but long term, OpenSea will simply bring in more eyes to Solana NFTs and more people to the Solana network. Now, this is an updated list from the guys over at Solanians. So they regularly post these ecosystem updates. This one was updated back about a month ago. So we can see here there's wallets, tools, explorers, applications, all the stuff on Solana right now. DeFi, wow, man. That is a lot of DeFi protocols on Solana, a lot of experimentation happening over on the Solana network. We also see here infrastructure, stable coins, development kits, staking bridges, DAOs, NFTs, marketplaces mostly, obviously, as well as gaming. Gaming is a big force on Solana. We've seen so many games launching on Solana, and there's so many more games that are coming that are planning to launch on Solana. I've been talking with so many different teams that are preparing to launch on Solana or that are choosing Solana over other chains. And yeah, we see some some games launching on Ethereum. We see some games launching on, Polygon, and obviously BSC's been very popular, but a lot of new games are coming to the Solana blockchain. We have some very high potential ones that have already definitely announced, and lots of others that are coming in the not so distant future. And of course, the one that is really getting everybody talking right now is Steppen. Now, Steppen is one that we talked about before the token sale, and I know some of you guys got in, so if you got into that token sale, well freaking done, because it's had like 35,000% gains since the token sale, which is mind-boggling. The whole move to earn thing has absolutely freaking exploded. And I think Steppen is definitely providing a lot of business right now for the Solana blockchain with, daily active addresses and NFT sales and stuff like that coming into Steppen here. Steppen, I guess, bringing that into the Solana blockchain. We also see some pretty big integrations with, for example, the launching of a Solana exchange traded product. So these are, things that you can buy on your brokerage account, depending on what country you're in, of course. We also see Grayscale Investment launching the Grayscale Solana Trust that happened late last year. CME Group, looking forward, is considering offering both Solana and Cardano trading futures. So currently the CME has only offered Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're looking at the next big things. They're looking where the demand is. They know Solana is huge. They know Cardano is huge, and that is why they are looking to offer some sweet trading contracts. And look, the CME Group's trading contracts are absolute freaking garbage, but it does show a level of institutional interest in these assets. Now, all that being said, not everything is perfect in Solana land. We had, of course, a very infamous attack that happened a couple months ago. We had the Wormhole Bridge was hacked for $320 million worth of Ethereum. Now I know what you're thinking. Hey, wait a second, $320 million in Ethereum. I thought we were talking about Solana, Lark. Well, the Wormhole was a bridge between the Solana blockchain and the Ethereum blockchain, and the hacker cashed out a lot of money from that bridge. Now, look, bridge hacks happen. They've happened to most bridges at this point, whether it's built on Solana or Ethereum or wherever else. There's been a dozen bridge hacks in the last year. It's very difficult crypto technology, which has been a big attack vector for attackers. We also saw Solana having little outages earlier this year, which was problematic for a lot of reasons. There would be times when basically Solana would be unusable because the blockchain just kind of whoopsies, which is not a good thing at all. Obviously, when we start talking about financial stuff, we start talking about people who are going to be liquidated because they can't get in to access their DeFi loan or whatever it might be. Then we start talking about the blockchain not functioning in a way that is literally destroying some investors. So you have to realize that this is still new technology. There are still a few wrinkles being ironed out in the Solana blockchain, and I think these outages were a big hit, I think, in terms of confidence in the Solana blockchain. So that's something to, keep in mind when you're thinking about Solana. There has been a little bit of drama happening with the blockchain. Now let's take a look at what's coming up, looking forward to the future of Solana. So we've seen, for example, Coinbase recently start to list Solana-based project tokens, starting off with Orca, which is one of the big decentralized exchanges on Solana. We also had, I think just today or yesterday it was announced that they're listing the Steppen tokens, so both of the Steppen network tokens for that sweet move to earn app. This brings more liquidity in to the Solana ecosystem and allows a wider variety of people, because Coinbase, remember, has like 90 million registered users. It's a lot of potential exposure to these assets. We also have Solana Pay coming up, which, it's one of these things that they hope is going to be the next big innovation in payment processing, facilitating payments while taking NFTs and Web3 into account, making this new payment protocol to be the Visa or the PayPal of Web3, of course, is the big aim of what they want to do. And with 50,000 transactions per second, with an even higher theoretical limit, it does present an interesting opportunity for blockchain-based payments. We also have